All right. So welcome to our July 2nd Coach Basics kind of team call. So what we want to cover today is really the foundation of coaching. So no matter how many years you've been coaching, no matter what rank you are, no matter how much you make every week on your weekly paycheck, it all comes down to what we're going to be talking about today. So from personal experience, what I've noticed is anytime my business is not where it needs to be, or it's just not, it's not where it needs to be. You guys are going to know what I'm talking about the longer you're in this. Sometimes you just know something's off. And the key that you always want to do is come back to the basics. And the basics are 4 things. And it's so simple. This business is not complicated. One of the reasons why most people do not get to where they want to be in this business is because they don't stay consistent, because there's nothing sexy or glorious about it. It all comes down to the 4 vital behaviors. So Megan is going to be covering 2 of them, and I'm going to be covering 2 of them. So the 4 vital behaviors are recognition and personal development, being a product of the product, and inviting. So I'm going to talk about 2, and she's going to talk about 2, and then hopefully we're going to have time for some questions. But just remember that this is what the business is about. Like, it all comes down to this. So if you have questions on this, please write them down or ask your coach, because if you can't grasp this, then it's going to be a struggle. So one of them is personal development. I think that this is one of the most important vital behaviors for you to do, because let me tell you something. You're going to have life hit you where people bash on you on social media, where family and friends tell you that you're in a pyramid scheme and that you're being stupid and it's never going to work. You're going to have months where you gain weight and you feel like you're not reaching your physical goals. You're going to get pregnant like me right now and realize that it's really hard to be gaining weight all the time. And if you are not doing personal development, your mind is not going to be in the right place, which means you're going to want to quit. So that means when you compare yourself to someone else and they have better abs or they're getting quicker results than you, you can choose as a coach, you can choose to quit and say, this isn't for me. It's great for them. I can't do it. Or if you're doing personal development, your mind's going to be in the right place, that if your mind is in the right place, your body will follow. So in Team Bloom, in the file section, if I'll go double check, but we should have a file in there of a list of personal development. And if we don't, I know Megan just sent me an updated version this week. You should always be doing personal development every single day. I think that you should be doing personal development before you even work out, if your schedule allows. And it doesn't have to be sitting down and reading an entire book. It's reading for 10 minutes a day or 10 pages a day. It can be listening to podcasts. It can be listening to audiobooks. It can be when you're in the shower. Like, there is no excuse for not doing personal development. It will make you a better person, I promise you. And personal development will save you. There are so many times I would have quit already if I was not doing personal development on a consistent basis. And you know what? As girls, when you're on your period, it's going to be rougher. It's going to be harder to work out. It's going to be harder to step out of your comfort zone. You're going to be emotional. And if you are not doing personal development during those days and during those weeks of the month, it's going to be rough. So if you know that it's a struggling time or you're in a bad season, increase your personal development. Do whatever it takes to get your mind in the right place, because your body will follow. I could literally talk about personal development all day, but I won't. So then
Can I add something to that too?
Yes.
I found that doing personal development, that is what I'm going through, like in life too, and matching it with that makes it so much more meaningful, and you're able to apply it and not just read it and move on. It's something that is applicable to your situation, and that really helped me too.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're reading a book right now and it's not good, like you're reading it and you're like, this is not jiving with me, then put it away. Put it back on the shelf for another season, because you might end up wanting to come back to it at a later time. Don't just do it to mark it off the list. Like, do it and apply it and think about it, like Megan was saying. And we will make sure that there is a file uploaded in Team Bloom, because it's really important to, like Megan said, to read a book on the topic you're struggling with. So the other vital behavior that I'm going to talk about is recognition. So first was personal development. next is recognition. These aren't in any order. We could probably rank them, but recognition tends to be maybe a little bit of a trickier one. And it's not something that, like, some days you might be like, recognition, how do I recognize someone? Maybe you don't have any coaches on your team, so it's just you. So you're like, well, who do I recognize? There's got to be some way every day where you can be purposeful, basically, in encouraging someone else. So maybe that means you have challengers who sign up with you, right? Challengers are customers, as you guys saw in the Beachbody lingo. So maybe you have challengers who've signed up with you. Maybe that means when they first sign up, you write them a handwritten card and like mail it to them. You guys, that will keep people. That is retention right there, because it shows them that you care and that you're taking time to think of them and to like put a stamp on something, you know, like they talked about that on the National Wake Up Call this morning. So that is a form of recognition. Maybe another form of recognition is, you do have some coaches on your team. It might mean going in Team Bloom or your team page and giving them a shout out and saying like, you've been so consistent. I've been seeing you show up, like, way to go. When you have coaches on your team, personally sponsored coaches who rank advance. So maybe rank advancements happen on Thursdays, right? So if you're a coach and you rank advance to Emerald Coach, your coach should be giving you a shout out, like, and putting it on social media, like, congratulations, like you're moving your business forward. Recognition is so key. First of all, it gets your mind off of yourself, because if you're only in this for yourself, you're just not going to last long. But if you can take your eyes off of yourself and recognize other people, that will be really huge for, just your business in general. So recognition might be tricky, but it's kind of fun to think of. Like, I literally have on my planner, I have the vital behaviors written down, and I have on there recognize. And I do not mark off that box until I do something that involves me encouraging someone else, whether it's a customer or a coach. Like, I have to do that every single day. So it's definitely a vital behavior. So Megan, do you want to cover the next two?
Yeah. Okay. So the next one is being proof that the product works. And this one I think is really huge. And as you know, we don't sell anything. We're not salespeople. We don't, hunt you down and shove it down your throat, but we share our journey. And you cannot share if you're not doing the programs, or you're not drinking Shakeology, or you're not following the nutrition plan. So it's so important that, that you're showing up every single day and you're sharing it on social media. I know it can be super uncomfortable sometimes to post a picture with your shake or, whatever, but the more you're talking about it and the more you're showing up with those products or talking about the programs and how they're changing your life, the more people are going to come to you. And like I said, just posting it, I really have found Instagram stories have been my jam, kind of, where I have been really being approved with the product. I share little snippets of my workout every single day. I share my Energize before that, my Mama Fuel. I share a picture with my Shakeology. I am constantly sharing, and to some people, they might be like, oh my gosh, another picture with her shake, or, and I never say Shakeology, or I never say Energize, or I never tell what program I'm doing. But the more that they're seeing it and being consistent with it, the more they're like, okay, she's obviously doing something that's working for her. I want to try it out. And I get messages all the time like, okay, what was that move you were doing? Or what is this shake you're talking about that helps with your headaches? Or, okay, Mama Fuel, what's that? I need that in my life. Like, I get constantly messages from girls asking about what it is. And that's the whole thing that you want. Also, taking before pictures. This is huge. So many times we're like, oh, I don't want to take before pictures. I don't want to share that part of myself. But even if you just keep it for you and then post or share about it, even in your challenge group, post the before and after picture, it's also going to bring people to you. It will show that what you're doing is working and you'll have people interested. So definitely do that. I just wrote down, if you're not doing the programs or using the products, then why would anybody else want to try them? If you're talking about them all the time and you're not doing it yourself, nobody's going to want to jump in with you. So you have to show up every single day. You have to share about it. You have to post about it. And that's how it's going to attract people. Also sharing your ups and downs. I don't always stick to the meal plan, and sometimes I'll post that picture of my pizza and I'm like, oh, today I'm having pizza. And you do not know how many people like or comment on that picture of the stupid pizza. Like, it's like, why? But they like to see that you're a real person, and that you sometimes have a slice of pizza, but you can still see the results by doing the programs. And then the last vital behavior is inviting. And this one is always the hardest. I like to try to do it the first thing in the day because it's the thing that I hate the most, but it's how you're going to move your business forward. If you are not inviting and you're not sharing this opportunity or the challenge groups with other people, they're not going to come. I thought at the beginning of this that I could just put up a post and I would get girls coming to me like left and right, and that's not the case. I wish it were, but it's not always the case. Sometimes girls do come and they ask me and they end up joining, but it's not always how it works. So I want you to think of it as you have an opportunity to give this gift to others, because that's really what it is. You have to look at yourself and say, how has this changed my life? How is this making me a better person? And feed off of that. Share with other people how it's making you feel. And the more you do that, you're inviting, you're sharing, the more people are going to jump in with you. An example of this. Think of a good movie that you've seen, and when you get out of the movie or after you saw it, you want to share it with the whole entire world, right? You're telling all of your friends about it. That's how these programs, and this is how Beachbody is what it's doing for you. So why not share that with other people? It's not something that you should be embarrassed of or talking about or nervous about talking about, because you have honestly a gift to give to other people. You're paying it forward. So definitely share away. And in fact, if the word inviting is like scary to you, change it up. Don't say inviting, say sharing, because that's really what you're doing. You're inviting others along this journey with you. You're not trying to sell them anything. You just want them to be the best version of themselves that they can be. Let me see if I missed anything. You can invite to the challenge group or to the coaching opportunity. I try to tell my new coaches about 3 to 5 invites to send out a day. It's a good place to start. Obviously, if you want to move your business forward faster, you'll want to invite more to the opportunity. Also doing call to action posts. I try to do these about 3 to 4 times a week. And it's basically when you're giving a public invite to everybody on Facebook or everybody on Instagram to join you. I even have an application that they can fill out, which is just a form saying why they might be interested. But that's going to really show you kind of who's interested. And even if they don't fill out the form, I will go back to that person the prior day or a few days ago, and I will I'll give them an invite. I'll say, hey, I thank you for liking my post. Why aren't you joining me? Let's do this together, because they showed interest. So that is also another form of inviting. What else was I going to say? When you invite, it's really important, and I struggled with this for a while. Do not word vomit. I would throw out an invite to somebody. Sometimes I even did cold invites in the very beginning, and it worked really well for me, but I chose not to do it so much because I wanted to build more of a relationship with the people. But if you are just giving everything, all of the information, then they're going to take what you just gave them and go find it themselves and not go through you. They might go to Google and look up 80-day obsession. So it's really important to keep it very minimum. Say, hey, I have a new accountability group starting on this day. Would you be interested in joining me? Or, something like that. Something that's very short, to the point, but not giving out a ton of information so that they go elsewhere. Does that make sense? Okay. I think that's all I have on inviting. I know I sped through that really fast, but does anybody have any questions about any of the vital behaviors, or if you do, we can unmute you.
Yeah, I think what you're saying too, Megan, is I never cold invite. It's just been a rule for me, which means if I'm not going to cold invite, that means that my posts have to be consistent and they have to be on point. So my favorite posts to do are to go and take a transformation photo, which if you don't know how to find them, ask your coach and we can help you. There are a few in bloom. We need to add some more into a photo album there. But I love to just put their story up there and put their picture. And anybody who likes it is getting an invite that day from me. So today I posted one. And when I first started coaching, I would do this and I would get like 2 likes. And it was always the same people for like a year. But eventually you're going to have 50 people like it. And if you are continually adding to your network and adding friends, then you're going to have lots of new people like it. So just today on one post, I had these people, and so I invited them all. I sent them a message and was like, hey girl, thanks for liking my post. Like, it's a freaking awesome transformation. You want to join us? That's all I had to say. I don't have to say anything else. And then when she answers me and says, well, yeah, what's some more information? I again turn it back to her and I'm like, what are your goals? Whatever her goals are, whatever she says to me, I know that the all access pass is what she needs. Maybe 2B mindset as well. But the point is, we know we have the solution. So just keep it focused on them and don't feel like you have to answer questions that they're not even asking. You know what I mean? And I think also the important thing with the vital behaviors is that you need to focus. Like, yes, there are times when you need to work in pockets, and I've been there, done that. And I know Megan still works in pockets. Like, there are some times when you're going to, like you have 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, you're going to do it. But like I sat down today and I set a timer for 30 minutes and I no joke, all of these people, there's 2 columns, this page, this page, this page, they were all follow-ups. So these are people who I've invited in the past few months. So this month I'm going to invite them. And when they say no, it's not no, it just means cool, I'll talk to you in August because that's how I roll. I'm not going to leave them. And you'll find that people will join after like a year of you freaking following up every single month. And 3/4 of these people are never going to answer me back, like probably for another year, but it's fine. I'll just keep messaging. So the key is it doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter how successful you get or anything. It all comes down to this. And you just have to make the time to do it. And the more you do it, you'll get quicker and quicker, I think, too. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Heidi says, I was wondering where you find those pictures with the quoted story from the person. Oh, yeah. And you can totally do that, Heidi. You can sometimes if I see a teammate post a good one, I'll copy and paste it and save it to my phone and save it like for the next day. But you can find them on the Beachbody blog, or you can go to other coach. Today I went to my coach and I went to her Facebook wall and I scrolled to like 3 weeks ago because she consistently puts up transformation photos like 2 a week. And so I scrolled to like 3 weeks ago and found one. And then I copy and pasted it and made sure it was good and valid and then posted it. So I would steal them straight from other coaches. Me and Meg steal them from us because we do them consistently. They're really nice, you guys, and they're great. Like they're my favorite to post about because it's so easy to invite people from it. It's so cool to share people's stories.
Yeah, and the Beachbody blog breaks it down into like age groups too, which is pretty cool, and men and women. So if you're only targeting women, in their 20s to 30s or whatever, they have women just in that age group. And they're all winners. I think they've all won some kind of money. So they're great transformations. They give their story most of the time. And they're really good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Beachbody blog's great. Great. What else? Any other questions from you guys? We have 10 minutes to talk about the vitals. You just crush the vitals every day.
Even being like, I think 19 months into this, 20 months into this, I think it's so important to like go back to those 4 vitals every single day. Like there's oftentimes like I'll stray and I think I'm like doing something that's moving my business forward. And then I'm like, hold on. No, I need to go back and do exactly that because I know those are the foundation that are going to get me here. So keeping that in the forefront, and even though it's like so repetitive and so boring sometimes to be doing the same thing over and over. If you talk to like the top coach, she will tell you that's what she does every single day. So I think that's really huge, just keeping that in mind and remembering that as you continue on.
Mm-hmm. And even for me, I know today I really did not feel like working, and I actually considered taking a rest day off of everything. And I was like, no, I know myself well enough to know that that's not acceptable. Like that kind of mindset is taking a rest day today when it wasn't planned. Is it going to get me closer to my goal? No, it's not. So it's really not acceptable. I only work 6 days a week. I think a rest day is really important, but that means that if I'm going to have a rest day, I hustle on the other days. And if I don't hustle, then I don't get that rest day because I took it a different day. So I was like, I don't want to take it today. It's only Monday. So what I did was I made myself go work out. I was like, okay, fine. You don't want to work the business? You will after you sweat it out, Sue. So I went and I made myself work out. And as soon as I finished working out and I put on some music and I did my personal development, as soon as I started posting and inviting, it flowed because it was like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better than I did a few hours ago just from working out. Why would I not invite people to this? So if you're in a funk, like really first check yourself and say, am I being a product of the product? Because if I am, it is changing my life. And if it is changing my life, how can I not do these vital behaviors and invite other people? That's what it comes down to. So sometimes you just got to trick yourself a little bit. Carissa.
Yeah, Carissa, I do definitely. Anybody who watches like and sticks around for the whole entire like workout little series that I do, I will throw them an invite and just be like, hey, I saw you checking out my workout. Like, is this something you'd want to do too? You know, whatever. I might not say that. That sounds kind of silly, but you know what I mean. Not sure how to have consistent people invite without cold messaging them. Yeah. I cold messaged for the longest time, and I think it's different kind of on Instagram because I don't know. I have a hard time building relationships on Instagram. I don't know if anybody else has that problem too, but for me, I feel like it is more of a cold invite. It's a really quick like, hey, thanks for checking this out. Why don't you join me? Like, it's not really build a relationship like it is on Facebook. So I don't know why there's a disconnect there for me, but there is. So I definitely think it would be okay to do a cold message type of invite on Instagram for sure from your Instagram story. Yeah.
Never do cold invites, would even cold invite on Instagram, like straight up, because that's what it is. Like people, I mean, half the time it's like robots.
Yeah.
And people literally follow you just to like sell you something. Like it's not a big deal. I would do that. And I would, Megan, I was laughing at you because I literally would say, I saw you creep it on my story. Like you watched the whole freaking thing.
I know.
5 clips. Like
kudos to you.
If you just say that, it like also shows that you're not sending them a scripted message. Like if you can add a little bit of like almost like, did you really just say that? Like real honesty and not be afraid to say it. They'll be like, oh wow, okay. And maybe they'll be more honest with you instead of ignoring you. Maybe they'll be like, no, I will never join you. Well, that's better than them ignoring you. So
well, then why are you watching me? Stop watching me.
Yeah. And then when they continue to watch you next month, when you follow up with them, you can be like, girl, you're still creeping. What's back? Like, what's going on?
You could have been 21 days into your program already. Come on. Yeah.
And that's the other thing with following up with people. I feel like when you are initially talking about the program, it's so important to find out what their goals are. And just say like, what are your goals? Because yes, you know that, like I said, the All Access can help them, but it makes it so much easier to follow up with them the next month. If I know that there's a mom who wants to lose 100 pounds so she can play better with her kids, next month, I'm most definitely going to message her and be like, girl, I know that you wanted to lose weight so you can feel more energetic as a mom. Like, are you ready to do this with me? I feel you. Like, are you ready? It just helps. Like, it helps them realize, oh, she remembered me. She remembered my reason. And it reminds them. Because sometimes they just forget how lousy they feel until they are reminded, like, remember why you wanted to do this? Yeah.
Yeah, you hit a pain point too. Like you bring up,
For sure. Yeah.
I was going to say something else. Oh, with new programs launching like Lift 4, especially with the preview, the sample workout that they gave everybody, like that is huge to anybody who might have been interested in the past. Send that workout to them. Who cares if they're not even interested in it? Just be like, hey, thought of you, try out this workout, let me know how it is. That's an invite right there. And then you follow up and say, how'd you like it? Let's get you in my group right now. That is a huge tool, and I love that Beachbody gave that sample workout because it is huge. I think just letting them get a sample of it before they commit to anything. So definitely use that to your leverage right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, girls, I am unmuting all three of you. Do you have anything to say? Anything to ask? You're all unmuted at this point, so talk. We are going to be, I am recording this just because we're going to post it for the people who couldn't make it, because I know it's hard with time zones and everything, but it's also a really good call to just come back to remind yourself of what the vital behaviors are.
So if we add new coaches, do we just put them into this group? Like, will they be able to go back and see this if it's like a week or two or?
Yeah, so probably what I'll do is I'll upload this into Bloom. I'll probably have a file section that says maybe Coach Basics calls. I'll have a document in there. I think that's probably best, don't you think, Megan? Like,
yeah.
it's specifically labeled Coach Basics, so anybody could go in and look at them. But when you do sign a working coach, what you're going to want to do is contact your upline and just ask them, okay, what do I do? Because we'll have a few links to send you. And then what we'll do is we'll be running these groups every 2 weeks. So if you have someone literally join tomorrow, they won't be in this Coach Basics group, but they will be on the whatever date 2 weeks is from now. So we'll have another one that will be starting just so
you'll start it over.
Yeah, because we will literally start over with the basics.
Okay. So like will we show up on the 2 week one?
No. So